So why would you say why is Josuke your favorite?
Josuke, duality, easily. Because compared to the other Joestars, they all have they're all kind of like the same, not the same character, but they all have one set personality.
Really? What?
Let's not all in common. Let's say specifically, Jotaro has a certain archetype. Like he's the gunslinger, cool, bud, yori dose character. And like Joseph, he's like super creative and charismatic and all that. And Jonathan is the gentleman. Exactly. But Josuke, he's a good guy. And then when a certain thing happens, aka reference to his hair, he completely switches. So that's something I identify with because I'm a pretty good guy. I like to be, I like to make jokes and all that. Until you do something wrong, then I will flip. And
I've seen it.
Yeah, so I really identify with that. And I just found him entertaining to watch. And he's the best looking.
I like his style.
Objectively speaking.
But I wanted to ask you. He's like, wait, why me? But I actually didn't even want to ask you because I tried to create a sort of similarity between you and Joseph, but I couldn't quite get it. The only thing I could really get in terms of how he's in terms of unorthodox planning, but I always found you more similar, especially as if you the first thing I noticed when I was watching season 3 Stars Crusaders is Soul Bad Guy from Guilty Gear is a clearly took his template from Jotaro, and obviously you remind me a lot of Soul. So I always thought I would have thought if I watched all 3 seasons without talking about it with you guys, I would have thought he was your favorite. But then you're that's Joseph.
That's actually a very good point because to be honest, when you said Joseph is your favorite, I was like, oh, okay, but I expected Jotaro.
Oh really?
Yeah. So that's why I'm curious. Why is Jotaro your favorite?
I think Joseph.
Yeah. Sorry, Joseph. Why is Joseph your favorite?
I think. Well, it's not that Jotaro is not. He has a lot of traits that are cool and such, but I feel like he's more he's not relatable in a sense that he's more of a I feel like he's more of a persona, a character.
I know where he's going with
this.
So
it's no one really acts like that in real life. So it's it's cool to see, but outside the context of it, but obviously you can't take JoJo outside of its context. But it's Jotaro, he's just the. Okay, one of in comparison to Joseph, I don't you see Jotaro's character development. It's very it's small. Maybe because of how season 3 is, it's more so the interactions between characters.
True.
More so if you already tell season 3 compared to season 2, the storytelling is very different.
True.
Whereas I think they kind of keep after season 3, they kind of keep the similar storytelling where it's everyday interaction with different characters.
True.
Whereas,
I would also say, sorry for interrupting. I'll also say that I think Jotaro starts at a really high level in terms of the capacity to deal with the challenges that he faces, as opposed to Joseph. I find all the other JoJo so far, I'm only on 4. I only just started 4, and even Josuke is at a pretty high level in terms of being able to handle things compared to Joseph and Jonathan though. But yeah.
It's I like Joseph because it's I find his character is more dynamic in the sense that you see his development as a character. He's yes, there's development for Jotaro. You can see he warms up to his comrades and stuff like that, and he does care. But it's not the focus of the show. Whereas Joseph, you see kind of his progression and how he interacts with different characters and how he's changed as a character. Even from young Joseph, from Joseph how he started the show versus to how he is towards the end, you can see he's changed. So I kind of like that he's always and I think that's why they flesh out his character so much too, because he survives for almost 4 freaking seasons, right?
And he's the one who breaks the tradition of JoJo of the Joestars dying early in their age. He's the one who broke the cycle.
Oh yeah, that's true. Huh?
Yeah, because everyone was when he was going through his arc of battle tendency, everyone was expecting to die early, and even we as a viewer thought he was going to die early facing against Vars, and then he's surprise.
Yeah.
My girlfriend Suzy Q nursed me back to health, and we're married.
But actually, I want to touch on that because I talked to Bobby, and his favorite is Jotaro, and I literally said, I was well, you like Jotaro, but everyone likes Jotaro because he's cool. He's oh, he's a bit relatable, but he's not relatable at all. I was let's compare it to the other JoJos. I was well, how much time was dedicated to Jotaro's history? If I asked you, what's Jotaro's history? You'd say well, first episode, he was really nice, and then he was really cool. That's literally his backstory. It's kind of well, why is he rude to his mom? Well, I don't know. He was really nice, and he was really cool. Well, how did he get so cool? Well, I don't know. He was really nice, and he was really cool. At least with Joseph, even as the series progressed, as the season progressed, like he did have a lot more character development. Like Jotaro, I would say like he does start to care about people a little bit more. I'll give him that.
Yeah.
But at least even with Joseph, like they even had a little. It was small. They had a little flashback when he was with the plane with Speedwagon. Remember when he got hijacked by terrorists?
Yeah.
Like at least they showed the type of guy he was as a kid.
Yeah.
So it's like a sense that this guy is a real person growing up. Jotaro, you just said
anger issues.
Jotaro did not have a flashback. He had pictures that came like just a picture of him saying.
I think he had a montage though. I feel like there was a montage. I agree with you, but I think he had like a montage of just like.
But it was like as Joseph was walking to get him out of the cell in jail.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But it wasn't like he didn't have anything dedicated. It was just kind of like this is where he is. This is how he starts,
Mm.
and that's that.
Yakamashi.
Yeah, exactly. Yakamasi GG. Even Jonathan. Well, Jonathan, we saw him from like as a kid, and we grew up with them.
Yes, very true. He had like a huge character development.
Like,
Even though in certain ways he was a bit. He's my favorite Jojo, but his own was a bit shallow compared to like as you guys both said. Like I think now that I think about it now, I would say like Joseph is the most well developed Jojo.
that's
Yeah.
it.
He goes through like 2 series and like a quarter. Like I know he's a bit in 4,
Yeah.
right? So where he's like old and shit. But like I haven't.
Older.
True. Well, I mean, like, yo, he was a spry old man in season 3. Like, I was like, if I could be that fit,
Whoa. He's been through a lot, that man.
right?
But in terms of character development, yeah, I'd say top would be Joseph. Second, I would actually give it to Jonathan.
I was gonna say Jonathan too.
And
He has a whole 10 episodes or something.
yeah, it's just that, like, I can see how, like, as a character he grew. Like, there was a lot of character development crammed into that.
Mm.
So I'd say that. And actually, third, I kind of, I'd like to say Josuke.
I'm thinking Josuke already.
Josuke, but I don't know how to place part 5.
Yeah, but it's like it's hard to talk about part 5 because you haven't watched part 5.
I haven't watched.
Yeah,
I haven't got to part 5.
So we'll leave that. So then it'd be Josuke, but then Jotaro.